Giraffes are some of the most outstanding animals on the planet. Known as the tallest mammals on Earth, they are one of the stars of the African savanna alongside lions and elephants. It wasn't until recently, however, that giraffes were found in a most unusual place. Imagine you are driving through northern Mexico's countryside when suddenly two giraffes stride in front of you. Between December 2024 and March 2025, 3 giraffes were spotted in the state of Coahuila, located in northern Mexico. Some anecdotal reports suggest there may be up to 10 giraffes roaming the rural areas. Though the government hasn't confirmed anything officially, it is widely believed they escaped from private ranches in the area, perhaps descendants of individuals brought over decades ago. This bizarre sighting made me think of a biological question. Could these giraffes actually survive and form a stable population in northern Mexico's arid environment? If more giraffes were introduced artificially, either as escaped animals or deliberately released into the Chihuahuan Desert, how would they fare in this new and demanding environment? When exposed to a new environment, animals look for 5 quintessential resources to survive and reproduce: breathable air, food, water, homeostasis, and shelter. How well the Chihuahuan Desert meets these needs for the giraffes will determine their viability. Our new arrivals will be living in the ecological region known as the Chihuahuan Desert, covering more than 500,000 square kilometers across northern Mexico and the southwestern US. It is one of the most biologically rich deserts in North America. Despite being called a desert, it is classified as a cold desert due to its higher elevation and seasonal temperature variation. The Chihuahuan Desert exists primarily because of the rain shadow effect. Moist air from the Gulf of Mexico or Pacific Ocean is blocked by the surrounding Sierra Madre Oriental and Sierra Madre Occidental mountains. As air rises over the mountains, it cools and loses moisture as precipitation. By the time the air descends into the desert basin, it's dry, creating arid conditions. This geological process has left the region with internally draining basins, forming playas, salt flats, as well as gypsum dunes. Most of the desert lies at elevations between 1,100 and 1,500 meters, contributing to its classification as a cold desert. Compared to the Mojave or Atacama deserts, the Chihuahuan Desert is relatively cooler and wetter, with annual precipitation averaging 235 millimeters or 9.2 inches. Summers are usually hot and dry, with temperatures exceeding 38 degrees or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Winters can be surprisingly cold, with temperatures dropping below freezing and occasional snowfall, especially at higher elevations. The landscape is diverse. There is the presence of flat desert valleys, mesas, gypsum sand dunes, and salt basins. These factors combine to create a challenging but biologically rich environment, hosting over 3,500 plant species and a range of animals such as pronghorns, snakes, lizards, and roadrunners. Giraffes typically feel at home in dry savanna biomes, which are often covered in scrubland, open grasslands, and thicketed areas. They also inhabit woodlands, riverine habitats, and, on rare occasions, arid desert margins. However, their distribution is still limited by their physiological needs, especially regarding temperature regulation, diet, and physical limitations. Unlike many other ungulates, giraffes are more sensitive to cold temperatures. They do not develop a thick insulating coat or significant body fat, making them vulnerable to heat loss, especially at night or in high elevation areas. Their long necks and legs give them a large surface area, which further increases heat dissipation. Exposure to cold for extended periods can impair their immune system, increasing their susceptibility to illness and mortality. This thermal variability could pose a challenge for giraffes, especially during cold desert nights or winters, where they may lack the physiological insulation to maintain homeostasis. The desert supports a variety of xerophytic or drought-tolerant plants. Dominant grasses include the bush mullein, the blue grama, tobosa, and zacaton. Common shrubs and trees include the creosote bush, the tarbush, mesquite, and certain acacia species. The Chihuahuan Desert is also famous for hosting the largest diversity of cacti in North America. Notable plant species include the yucca, sotol, agave, and the desert prickly pear cactus. While some of these plants may be palatable or accessible to giraffes, many contain spines, toxins, or low nutritional content. Giraffes primarily feed on leaves and shoots of tall acacia and similar trees, so food availability may be limited or nutritionally inadequate unless introduced trees or adaptive foraging behaviors are involved. Being a herbivore isn't easy, especially when your food is made of cellulose, a tough structural compound found in plant cell walls. Since cellulose is difficult to digest, many herbivorous mammals have evolved specialized digestive systems. Among them are ruminants, which possess multi-chamber stomachs that ferment plant material with the help of symbiotic microbes. Giraffes, though ruminants, differ from cattle in that they have smaller forestomachs and longer small intestines, an adaptation likely related to their browser diet, which focuses on nutrient-rich leaves rather than grass. Their long prehensile tongues and thick gummy lips help them forage among thorny branches, especially acacias. These trees provide proteins, calcium, and carbohydrates that are essential to giraffes' nutrition. Their sticky saliva and tough gums allow them to tolerate spiky vegetation with ease. In times of nutrient scarcity, giraffes may practice osteophagia, chewing or even swallowing bones, to supplement their intake of calcium and phosphorus. In comparison, the Chihuahuan Desert hosts an impressive 3,500 species of plants, including the highest diversity of cacti in the world. Its vegetation is primarily xerophytic, adapted to survive prolonged droughts with features like thick skins, water storage tissues, and reduced leaf surfaces. While the desert lacks African acacias, it is rich in mesquite, ocotillo, agave, and desert shrubs. If giraffes were to inhabit this region, their generalist browsing behavior might allow them to adapt to this new menu, though their nutritional intake and health could still be challenged by the unfamiliar flora. In their native African range, giraffes face threats from lions, hyenas, leopards, and even African wild dogs. Calves suffer particularly high mortality rates, with only a small fraction surviving past their first year. In the Chihuahuan Desert, giraffes will encounter a very different lineup of predators: cougars, coyotes, black bears, and even in some regions, jaguars. While these predators are formidable in their own ecosystems, adult giraffes are not easy targets. They can run up to 31 miles per hour, deliver lethal kicks, and their towering height provides them with excellent visibility, an advantage for spotting threats early. Calves, however, will remain vulnerable. Their strategy will likely be the same: camouflage, stillness, and hiding. In this unfamiliar landscape, those strategies might be even more crucial. A study on cougar predation in North America shows that cougars prefer native ungulates like mule deer and elk, with the juveniles being the most commonly killed, especially during summer. Given that a giraffe calf can weigh around 100 kilos at birth, it's plausible that a cougar, especially a hungry male or a female with kittens, might attempt to take one down. However, healthy adult giraffes will likely be avoided, much like bison or moose are avoided in areas where cougars overlap with them. In terms of competition, giraffes will be sharing food with other desert herbivores such as the mule deer, pronghorns, and javelinas. Though giraffes browse at heights few others can reach, overlapping diets during dry seasons could create subtle interspecies competition, especially if overbrowsing depletes key shrubs and trees. Whether giraffes could survive in the Chihuahuan Desert is more than just a speculation. It also lets us see the broad impact of humans on ecosystems through invasive species. Around the world and history, humans have relocated animals, both deliberately and accidentally, into environments where they didn't evolve. Some introductions are beneficial, but many have destabilized entire ecosystems, such as the oryxes in New Mexico and Arizona, introduced for hunting. With no natural predators, they outcompeted native herbivores like the pronghorns and damaged the fragile desert vegetation. In the Florida Everglades, Burmese pythons released as exotic pets have devastated native mammal populations. The presence of giraffes in North American deserts could have long-term unintended effects such as overbrowsing of sensitive native plants, competition with native herbivores, and possible predator and prey disruptions.